so for today's video, I'm going to talk about my makeup brushes. So when it comes to brushes, there are several factors that affect how you can use your brush and how it will perform. So it has everything to do with their bristles. It's important that you understand this before you can really understand how to use and how to choose brushes that you need. Okay, so first, a brush can either have natural bristles, synthetic bristles, or both natural and synthetic. So synthetic hair brushes are usually used for liquids, so creams and liquids. When I say liquids, I mean creams and liquids, okay? For liquids, but that doesn't mean that you can't use them for powders. You can also use them for powders. While natural fibers, natural hair, natural bristles are usually only used for powders. So that's one of the type of bristle. Next is the density and the shape of the bristles. So tightly packed, dense brushes are used for applying pigments and products in a very concentrated and pigmented manner. If you want to increase the coverage or apply it really concentrated, you use brushes with tightly packed bristles. But if you want to apply like a very soft and diffused if you want to apply it in a very soft and diffused manner, you use loose and less dense brushes. So that's why you usually use loose and less dense brushes for powders and tightly packed and dense or flat brushes for liquids and creams. But there are exceptions to that rule. For example, if you use a brush with a synthetic fiber and a flat and dense brush for a powder, you can also do that, but it will apply the powder in a very mask-like or pigmented manner. So for example, you can use a concealer brush for a powder to make it really pigmented. And then you can also use a loose and less dense brush to buff concealer so that it really blends into the skin if you want to like remove the excess concealer surrounding your blemish. Okay, so again, those are the general rules. More the tightly packed synthetic bristles for liquids and loose, less dense bristles for powder. We will start with the brushes that I use for my face. Okay, so my Japanese foundation brush, the 912 foundation brush. So this brush is nice because it applies foundation really smoothly with no micro exfoliation and flaking because of its bristles, because they're very flat and quite small. And then another one I sometimes use for foundation but not really that much is the Zoeva 102 Silk Finish. So this brush can be used for both powders and liquids. It's good for blending, but if you have dry skin, it can emphasize your dry patches and flaky skin, because even though it's really soft and smooth, just buffing is just really not good when your skin is really dry. Oh, I have another one. I forgot. This one is an oval brush, well, a tapered oval brush. This is the Kaylene. You can use this again for both powders and liquids, powders, creams, liquids. It's super dense and tightly packed, so it kind of acts like sort of a sponge. I like this one for buffing my foundation, and also even for applying foundation. It doesn't emphasize dry patches as much as a less dense brush like this one, and it also doesn't leave any streak marks, but honestly none of these leave streak marks. It's just my dry skin is just really my main problem. As I'm going through this, most of these brushes are multitaskers, so keep that in mind. Anyway, next for eye brushes. These two brushes, these came free with the BYS Nude 3 palette. So they have like a promo where you get a free eye brush. Well, it's not just that, travel brush set with the palette. So these ones are quite useful because I don't have any other brushes as small as these. This one is like a tiny eyeshadow application brush. So this one is for packing pigment. It's quite useful because it's small, so you can get into the small spaces of your eye, like the outer V, and even on your lower lash line, because when you use it like this. So I sometimes use this. This one is like a contour brush for the eyes. It's angled this way, so you can also use it for the crease. So it's tiny, it gets into the crease, and you can also use it for the to define your outer V. Although it's quite wide for that, so that's when you don't want it to be very precise. So it can sometimes be useful. I used this today. Okay, next, these ones are basically the same. This is the Zoeva 227 soft definer brush, and this is the Sigma E25 blending brush. So they're both blending brushes. If you can see, they have very similar shapes. The only difference is that the Sigma bristles are more firm and like rigid in their shape, while the Zoeva brush is a lot softer and less dense than the Sigma brush. But both brushes you can use to blend pigment. You can also use it to apply pigment, but in a not a very concentrated way. You can't use it to really pack pigment onto your eyes because they're quite loose, so they will create like a soft diffused effect if you use it all over your eyes. So these ones you can use also for the crease, again, if you don't want it to be very precise. It gets into the crease, and you can also use it to even define the outer corner of your eye, but again in a not very precise manner because they're not that small. Okay, so these ones are must-haves. This type of brush is a must-have for any makeup enthusiast because you will always need a brush like this to blend your eye look and to soften any color that you may have applied too harshly, and also to as a beginner brush when you're not very good at applying eye makeup and you need it to be very soft and diffused. So these are very good multitasking eye brushes. So these also are similar to the MAC 217, so just read up on that. They're all basically the same brush. Next, this one is an eye shading brush. So this one is like just to apply pigment onto your eyes. So you tap it to pack on the pigment. It's usually for the base color. Okay, this one is a MAC Oval 3. So this is a multitasking brush in that it is you can use it as a crease brush, you can use it as a blending brush, you can use it as an eyeshadow, a shader brush like the one to pack pigment. You can also use it as a concealer brush. So this is what I use as a concealer brush when I'm not using sponges. So you can use it to blend concealer, to buff concealer, also to apply concealer, and I think that's it. And then This is my Zoeva 223 Petite Eye Blender. So you can use this to really define your crease. You can also use this to blend the outer corner of your eye if you want it really precise. You can also use it on your lower lash line. You can also use it on your upper lash line. This one is for packing pigment in a very small area, and also for blending really small areas of your eyes. Next, this is a 230 Luxe pencil brush, again by Zoeva. So a pencil brush is for a very defined eye look. So you can use it for applying eyeliner on your lower lash line, on your bottom lash line. You can use it to define your outer V if you want it really precise. A pencil brush is what you need. And you can also use it for your crease if you want like a cut crease look. So this is also a multitasking brush. And then these are some eyeliner brushes. These are the 312 Zoeva detail liner, and the Swish push liner brush. So these both of these are for lining your eyes, but this one you can also use for eyebrows if you have very thin eyebrows, I guess. This is for detailed lining. Also, this one is you can use both of these for eyeliner, and I sometimes use it for when I use eyeshadow as eyeliner, and also for gels as eyeliner. Both of these can be used for that, except this one is bigger and not angled, while this one is angled. So you can use it to make a wing. Actually, you can also use this to make a wing if you do it if you need like a longer wing. This one you can use for a small wing. Oh, I have another eyeliner brush that I just recently purchased. This is the W7 Precision Eyeliner Brush. This one is a tiny eyeliner brush for really precise eyeliner application. So I like to use this with gel eyeliners and even eyeshadow as eyeliner if you want it really small. So this will be useful for someone with hooded eyes, or even for like for tight lining in between your eyelashes. You can also use this one. This is really useful. And this one is a spoolie, so you use it for your eyebrows. You can also use it to unclump your mascara. So this one is a Zoeva cream shader brush, a 233 cream shader brush. So you use it for cream eyeshadow, but it's also good to apply eyeshadow on your eyelid just to make the color really pop and really pigmented. So you can wet this and apply like eyeshadow all over your eyelid, and if you want the color to really pop. So again, I said there are exceptions to all the rules. It would depend on how you would want your makeup to look. So this may be a cream shader brush, but you can also use it for powder if you want it really pigmented. Also, this one is the e.l.f. concealer brush. So again, it's for you can also use this for, because it's a cream shader brush, you can also use this for concealer. This e.l.f. concealer brush, again, you can also use it for applying eyeshadow if you want the color to be very pigmented. This one is a Pro Studio pan brush. So I don't know why it's called a pan brush, because it's more like a large fan brush, but it's a pan brush. So I use this to apply both bronzer and the highlighter, and also to remove excess powder, and also to just apply like a really diffused bronzer on warmth on my skin. I also use it sometimes to contour my nose when I want it subtle. I can also use it to apply highlighter on my nose like that. It's a really good brush, but it's not a necessity. There are other brushes you can use for that. This is a Real Techniques blush brush. Okay, so this is a cult classic. You use it to apply blush, but you can also use it to apply bronzer. You can also use it to contour, but this one applies pigments really softly, and there's no going wrong with this brush. That's why it's a cult classic. You can have a heavy hand and it will still look really, really natural. So, blush brush. And then this is a Suwesh tapered blending brush. I use this to, well, it's a powder brush, so you can use it for applying your blush. You can use it to apply highlighter. You can also use it to contour. Because it's a tapered blending brush, it applies powders in also a very diffused way. So that's why I like to use it for a highlighter, because I prefer a more sheeny, not glittery or shiny look. So I use it for highlighter. You can also use it to blend your bronzer, blush, and your highlight together. So it's a nice brush to have, but not a necessity again. Next, this is my Sigma F40. This is a large angled contour brush. You can use it to have a very chiseled contour. You can also use it to for like draping, like when you use your blush as contour. You can also use it to just apply a blush the normal way, or you can use it on the apples of your cheeks. You can use it on your temple. You can also use it to apply highlighter. So this is a very versatile brush as well. So this one is, I think, a necessity if you're starting out with your brush collection, something like this, because you can use it for lots of stuff. So it's very good. Oh, by the way, you can also use the oval brush, the Kaylene oval brush, for both cream blushes and cream contour. You can actually use it by angling it like this to cut your cheeks. That's why it's a multitasking brush. You can also use it to blend contour, to blend under eye concealer, to make like the triangle here when you're highlighting. What else? Lip brushes. I only have 2 lip brushes. Again, this came free with the BYS palette, and also this one is an Etude House 210 lip brush. So this one is nice because it's kind of squarish, so it's good to like outline your lips easily. But I don't use lip brushes all that much. Just in case you're interested, I'm using this Sleek Eye Divine palette in Oh So Special. So it's really not, this isn't my normal look. I usually use very nude and neutral colors, but I just wanted to play around with makeup today. I was just practicing, and I quite like how it turned out. I also played with the cheek parade here. This is dandelion, this is hula, the contour is hula. I used the dandelion and then I layered it with Rockateur as a highlight here. And then I also used some of my Sleek Sauces highlight palette to layer my highlight more here. Also used the hula to contour my nose, and then for the center highlight I used the Rockateur, and then also some of my oh no, I didn't use the Sleek Sauces here. I just used the Rockateur for the center of my nose, and then used the Sleek Sauces to define my Cupid's bow. My lipstick is not really a lipstick. This is a Dolce K lip liner, and that's it. That's my entire look, and that's the video. So this completes my video, and I'll see you next time.